Today I fucked up by getting drunk and making my pregnant wife drive to the hospital to give birth. Obligatory. This didn't happen today, but about 5 years ago when my firstborn son came into this world. My wife was 37 weeks pregnant and the obstetrician wanted to start the birthing process early due to excess liquid in the womb. My wife called me at work and asked me wanna have a kid tomorrow. I was so excited I couldn't wait to get home and celebrate with my wife. Over dinner I cracked a nice single malt whiskey and proceeded to have far too many of them, and I guess you can see where this goes. In my head I just had to wake up the next day with a clear head. Ain't no way this baby coming 3 weeks early until I'm ready for it. I remember playing Rocket League in my man cave, completely wasted and nearly a whole bottle gone, when my phone started ringing. I tried to answer it in between goals, and figured out quickly that my wife's water had broken. Fuck me. So I stagger across my lawn and into the house, and there's my wife with no pants and trying to get towels to mop up the mess. I confess that I've had far too many whiskeys, but that I can totally drive. She insists on driving even though I'm about to call the ambulance, and next thing you know we are driving to the hospital, my pregnant and contracting wife in the driver's seat, and drunk me in the passenger seat. When we got there I ushered her inside and managed to drive the car into a parking bay, and pay for the ticket. To this day I don't know how, cause I was a mess. I got into the hospital and found my wife. She was in labor for 10 hours, about half of which I was awake for. Eventually I sobered up around 6 AM and held my wife's hand until 8 AM when my baby boy was born, and it was one of the most today I fucked up moments of my life. Too long didn't read, got drunk before my wife gave birth to my firstborn. My wife drove to the hospital for us and then gave birth. I'm a pause. Edit, just so we're clear, I know it was irresponsible to drive anywhere drunk. There is no excuse for it, even if it was around the empty car park at midnight. But what is done, and thankfully no one was hurt for it. And yes, my wife is an amazing woman that puts up with far too much. Thankfully I am not such a burden these days. Did my husband write this? He was wasted the night my water broke as well. He went to bed at 1, I woke him up at 2 with my water breaking. Dude had the audacity to ask me what that meant. He is never going to live that down. You are so lucky this ended well. You are not wrong. She's a good woman to put up with my shenanigans. I have got my shit together since, which I consider a win. Phew, thankfully you posted this on r/today I fucked up and not over at r/ita where they would have ripped you a new one. Dude, I totally considered ita, but I already know the answer so I didn't need the confirmation. Was the cost of the ambulance the reason for your wife not wanting to call for one? That would have been my reason. Ever take a ride in one of those? America. Today I fucked up 9 years ago, and acquired a new, generally unacceptable, fetish, NSFW. This happened way back in university with my then ex, who was a conservative type girl who wanted to save herself for marriage, but secretly very adventurous in bed. So it's a very stale today I fucked up, but one that I recall fondly. Anyways, we would do almost everything else except actual penetration to skip the grey line, and at that time, ass eating was just becoming a thing. For the uninitiated, it involves putting your licking bits in close proximity of the area where the sun don't shine. After an inspirational TED talk about the joys of anal by a sexually liberated Japanese girl at a house party, I wanted to try it out, and to my surprise, my then girlfriend agreed. Whoop, we did some butt stuff before, but it was just a finger or two, and I was really excited about it. Cue showtime. After she went in to clean herself, came out, and got into doggy and presented herself. I didn't really know what to do, so I very gently gave the flower a gentle flick of the tongue. Wrong move. People that are ticklish can perform remarkable feats when under tickle threat. In hindsight, a firm and assertive opening move could have changed the course of history. Got a fart blast directly onto my tongue and a horse kick onto my balls at a very serious velocity, then another onto my stomach as I just began to double over in pain as she scrambled desperately away from the source. hitting her head on the bedpost. I slowly recovered from my pain to see her almost in tears, mortified at the outcome of events. I smiled through the pain, and as I came to my senses, I began to realize to my horror that the fart excited me. Too long didn't read, acquired fart fetish from trying to eat ass wrongly. You might be into some of James Joyce's love letters to his wife. My sweet little whorish Nora, I did as you told me, you dirty little girl, and pulled myself off twice when I read your letter. I am delighted to see that you do like being fucked ass ways. Yes, now I can remember that night when I fucked you for so long backwards. It was the dirtiest fucking I ever gave you, darling. My prick was stuck in you for hours, fucking in and out under your upturned rump. I felt your fat sweaty buttocks under my belly and saw your flushed face and mad eyes. To every fuck I gave you, your shameless tongue came bursting out through your lips, and if I gave you a bigger stronger fuck than usual, fat dirty farts came spluttering out of your backside. You had an ass full of farts that night, darling, and I fucked them out of you. Big fat fellows, long windy ones, quick little merry cracks, and a lot of tiny little naughty farties ending in a long gush from your hole. It is wonderful to fuck a farting woman when every fuck drives one out of her. I think I would know Nora's fart anywhere. I think I could pick hers out in a room full of farting women. It is a rather girlish noise, not like the wet windy fart which I imagine fat wives have. It is sudden and dry and dirty, like what a bold girl would let off in fun in a school dormitory at night. I hope Nora will let off no end of her farts in my face so that I may know their smell also. That was a crazy read. Sounds like she was a breath of fresh ass. I feel the sudden urge for mouthwash. As I came to my senses, yeah, we know. In hindsight, you shouldn't have been in sight of the hind. Today I fucked up by telling my dad I went off the pill. Too long didn't read, Dad found out I went off the pill. Forgot the reason I was on it in the first place and proceeded to make me a PowerPoint presentation about family planning, and it's just super awkward. Can't trust mom. Husband is laughing at my pain. Obligatory, this happened a few days ago. So recently I had to go off the pill. I was only on it due to a hormonal condition and not actually because I was trying to control any births. As of right now I live in the States with my husband, and I'm sure anyone reading this would know how expensive prescriptions in this bound today I fucked up a country can be. My body has only ever agreed with one brand of birth control, which unfortunately is not covered by my insurance here, and I'm told it's illegal to send prescriptions through the mail, so here we are. About 4 generic versions of the pill later and a whole bunch of depressing body changes, I decided it was time to just come off the pill, and my doctor gave me the okay but warned me there would still be side effects. So I let my mom know, mainly because she's a nurse but also because I'm not shy to share personal things with my mom, especially about health. I specifically asked her not to mention all of this birth control talk to my dad because my dad and I are pretty much best friends, and I figured it would just be an awkward conversation, plus why would we ever need to discuss my lady issues anyways, right? Unbeknownst to me, my mom somehow brought up my issues to my dad in what she says was just a casual conversation. As I write this I'm realizing maybe the fuck up was telling my mom in the first place, lol. So I get a call from my dad that started off like this: Dad, hey, is everything okay? Your mom told me you've been having some issues lately. Me? Issues? No, I'm okay, Dad. Dad, well, she told me about your birth control. You know you don't need any of that. Me? Oh well, I did, Dad. Remember a few years ago when we went to the doctor for my hormone issues? Dad, oh I think I recall but very vaguely. But anyways, I wanted to tell you there's no need for all of that. You just need proper family planning. Those pills have so many side effects. Me, well, we're not planning on having kids yet, Dad. Dad, but with this plan that I have you'd never have to worry about becoming pregnant unexpectedly. Me, little confused, kinda irritated because I thought I explained why I was on the pill in the first place. Dad, I wasn't on it because I was trying to actually control a birth from happening. I can handle that. Dad, I see. Okay, well, please check your email. I just sent you something. Checks email while on the phone with him. My dad sent me a whole ass PowerPoint presentation that he put together himself, for me, about family planning. It was loaded. Had a whole calendar in there and everything. What happens when a birth is unplanned? Everything about ovulation. The slides were even animated. My husband was listening as we briefly went over said PowerPoint and could barely hold his laughter in. It was like this awkward sex ed class but from a concerned/caring parent. I wanted to crawl up into a ball and disintegrate, but I told him I appreciate the concern and the effort. I know my dad has my best intentions at heart always, and he knows kids are not in the plan yet, so this was his way of giving me advice. But we're basically talking about my sex life here, with my dad, by way of a PowerPoint. Cringe. Archived the PowerPoint though because it was super informative, and I also applaud my dad for trying to find the best way for him to give me advice despite the awkwardness/me wanting to disappear into a black hole. Husband laughed so hard when we hung up that I saw tears. Edit. Okay, whoa. This blew up. WTF. Thank you kind strangers for the awards. I am not worthy! Exclamation mark. So a couple things. 1. I see a consensus for wanting a copy of this PowerPoint, and as much I'd love to share it with you all. It does have a couple baby pictures of my dad and I when he was all happy I was born lol, but also my dad is on Reddit, and if by some twist of fate he reads this, I wouldn't want him to see his personal PowerPoint just pop up places without his consent. 2. I appreciate all the love for my dad, and he would truly appreciate it as well. Being a parent to me was not the easiest job, but he's been my best friend no matter what. He's going to be an amazing grandpa. 3. Dad, if you happen to read this, I appreciate you and I love you and I'm thankful for everything you do for me, including the awkward PowerPoints. Heart. Edit 2. 1. My mom isn't an arc. Lol. I don't mind that she shared the info because I know it came from a place of love and concern. 2. I see a few comments of having prescriptions mailed to me. Yes, they would be coming from a different country and I guess it is possible, but either way I'm okay with giving my body a little rest. 3. We are a mixed race and religion family and my parents' beliefs have never been forced on me or on each other. Smiley face. This is the today I fucked up content I come here for. Great dad though. Do you have a brother? Imagine how that birds and bees puberty talk must have gone. I don't have a brother, but if I did it would be comforting to know he would have gotten the same special treatment lol. If your dad put that whole PowerPoint together just for you, he truly is the GOAT. He most likely didn't want to accept another reasoning because he had already put so much time into the PowerPoint, haha. I assume the second my mom told him he began working on it and only called me when the presentation was complete. Smiley face. If you have a daughter, you have to pass it on. Better yet, have your dad present it to her. Every young lady is going to want a presentation from grandpa on birth control, right? Mom, what about the birds and the bees? Oh, your grandpa has got that covered.